What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be looking at the top 5 mistakes that I see people making to their classes in Infinite Warfare. This video is designed to help you save those precious pick 10 points and maximize the effectiveness of your classes. Let's get into it. Alright guys, before we get into the list, I just wanted to point out that I'm going to try to stick to things that are objectively useless on a class, or not worthwhile on a class. There are going to be some things that maybe come down to personal preference. I tried to stay away from those for this video. These are generally things that are based on misconceptions and people just not understanding what certain class items do. So first up, this is one that I see all the time. This is a very common one, especially for those people that are grinding out those camos for the guns. This is using hollow point or Faraday slug on a gun that is primarily a 3-shot kill gun within its 3-shot kill range. And keep in mind, this is just applying to core game modes. For tactical TDM, this is a completely different story. Oftentimes, it's a great idea to use these attachments, but in core game modes, within the 3-shot kill range of weapons, the Faraday slug and the hollow point attachment are essentially useless. They're never going to make it a 2-shot headshot, so they're not going to reduce the number of shots it takes to kill, at least within its 3-shot kill range. Now, if you're using a 3-shot kill weapon and you're in its 4-shot kill range, then yes, hollow point will often help you out. But most of the time, if you're using a 3-shot kill weapon, you're trying to stay within that 3-shot kill area, and therefore hollow point and Faraday slug are doing absolutely nothing to help you at all. Moving on to number 2, we've got the momentum perk. The momentum perk is essentially useless in this game because we have the slide jump technique. This slide jump technique gives you twice the speed increase that momentum does in this game. And also with momentum, a lot of people don't understand, momentum doesn't even start working until you're sprinting for 3 seconds without interrupting that sprint. So no jumping, no sliding, no wall running. You have to be just sprinting normally for 3 full seconds. And even if you are going to be doing that, you're better off going with the slide jump technique. So for those of you guys that haven't seen this slide jump technique, all you have to do is slide, and immediately after you engage that slide, you want to hit the jump button. This will keep that initial momentum for you when you engage the slide, and it will carry through your jump, and therefore it'll carry through a longer distance, and there's no recovery time off of that slide, and therefore you maintain that momentum and you move around the map a lot faster. Much faster than momentum ever would allow you to do. So as long as you learn this technique, momentum is completely obsolete. Getting into number 3, this is one that we've seen in previous Call of Duties, but I just have to bring it up every year because there's still people that always make this mistake. This is using the FMJ attachment with the intention of increasing the damage of your gun. This is completely false. It does not increase the damage of your gun. I know the stat bars in the game say that it increases your damage. Never trust these stat bars. They are almost always incorrect and misleading. They don't mean anything with how the thing is actually hard-coded. FMJ does not increase your damage. All it does is it reduces the amount of damage that you lose when you're shooting through walls. So if you're using FMJ for that specific purpose, that's totally fine, but just realize it's not increasing your damage in regular gunfights. Moving on to number 4, this is something that's not completely useless like a couple of the other things I've already mentioned, but it's something that a lot of people don't understand how little it helps them in game. And that is using rifled barrel or particle lamp on shotguns. Now, a lot of people see this and they're like, yeah, of course, why would I not want to increase the range of my shotgun? That definitely is going to help me. But what they don't realize is that particle lamp or rifled barrel, it's only increasing your range by 10% with shotguns. And since those ranges are already so small, 10% is barely even noticeable. In some cases, it only increases the range of your shotgun by a few inches, which you're never really going to be noticing in-game. Now, to say it will absolutely never help you would be a lie. There are going to be some very rare situations where you're in that exact extended range of your shotgun where it will help you, but those situations are going to be so few and far between that you'd be much better off using something more helpful on your class. Something like laser sight or fusion mag or another perk or a piece of equipment, something like that. That's going to be helping you far more often than long barrel ever will on the shotguns. And just a little reminder on that same note, suppressor only reduces your range with shotguns by 5%, which is even less noticeable, and therefore suppressor is an excellent choice on shotguns in this game, which is kind of weird to see because in the past with shotguns, suppressor is basically a big no-no, but not in this game. You're better off with a suppressor than you are with a long barrel, in my opinion. So finally, for number 5, this isn't necessarily a class item that we're going to be talking about. This is going to be talking about the variants of the weapons in the game. And a really common mistake that I see people making is they always just choose the highest rarity variant of the gun that they're going to use. In their mind, the higher the rarity, the better the gun, and this is very often not the case. There are several situations where I'd take a rare variant, or even in some situations a common variant, over one of the legendaries or even the epic variants of a gun. Use the variant that's going to be helping you the most. Don't just use your most rare variants all the time just because it's cool because you have that epic variant or that legendary variant. Use the one that looks like it's going to be best suiting your playstyle. A great example of this with me is the R3K. I've got a bunch of the R3K variants, and yet my favorite variant to use is the common counterbalance variant. I use this one over the nuke variant, I use this one over the spearhead, I use this over anything because it has a tighter burst, and therefore I get a lot more one burst kills with the counterbalance over any other R3K variant. Now, of course, this isn't always the case, and a lot of the times the epic or the legendary variant are going to be the better variants, but just keep in mind that sometimes there are those little diamonds in the rough that are common or rare variants, and they might be better than some of the more rare variants that you have. So there we have it. Those are the top 5 class mistakes that I see people making in Infinite Warfare. I'd love to know in the comment section below, what other mistakes do you see people making with their class? And try to keep things a little bit on the objective side. I know there are some things that are just personal preference, so maybe you like one thing over another. Try to find things that you feel are completely useless or a complete waste to use on a class. And if I get enough really good ones, I will definitely do a follow-up video where I cover a bunch of these, and I'll give you guys full credit when I do that video. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.